Thus, you get better performance with OS2 version 2 than you can with DOS or Windows. Another OS2 feature is multithreading. That takes multitasking one step further.
What's that?
It's a benefit available to you only in OS2 applications. For example, I've just pulled up an OS2 32-bit word processor called Describe. I could be typing along while the program is using pagination to determine page breaks, running online spell checking and grammar checking in the background, and I could be printing all at the same time. Rather than each of these sessions doing only one job with the computer processor at a time, they each have multiple threads using the processor concurrently, thus the term multithreading. This results in very high performance.
That's definitely more bang for the buck. Hey, I've been reading about these new 32-bit OS2 apps. I hear they're really supposed to be a lot faster.
Oh yeah, they're much faster. Here, let me show you an example. These are two OS2 applications. One is a new OS2 32-bit application, and the other is an OS2 16-bit application. The 32-bit app can utilize more memory and take advantage of the smaller 4K demand memory paging, making it run faster. In fact, in some comparison tests, OS2 32-bit applications perform 40% faster than the 16-bit versions.
That's great. More, better, faster. I love it.
Yeah, but there's even more.
Oh, yeah?
OS2 version 2 also manages memory much better than DOS or Windows. With 2.0, your DOS and Windows apps can access more memory than you could before, including an amount of virtual memory, usually only limited by your disk size.
All right, what is virtual memory?
That's where the operating system uses the disk space on your hard drive as if it were RAM, thus giving your computer as much RAM memory as you have hard drive space. The bigger the drive, the more memory you can have to play with.
So, the bigger my business grows and the more computing power we need with OS2 version 2, we can handle the workload.
Exactly. You'll have higher performance now, and you'll be better prepared for the future.
I get it. With OS2 version 2, I'm going to get more for my money, more for my time, and more for my computer.
Joe, you must be in sales.
How can you not be and run a small business?
True. Very true. But listen, Joe, there's even more. I haven't even mentioned reliability. Having a small business at all, you can't afford having your computer crash on you, losing all your work. OS2 version 2 is a more reliable operating system than DOS or Windows.
It's starting to sound like a sales pitch to me, Alan.
No, I'm really very serious. It's true. Remember I told you that OS2 version 2 helped tap the true potential of your hardware?
Yes, I recall that.
Okay. Well, one of the features built into 386 and 486 processors is something called Virtual Protect Mode. When you're running multiple DOS or Windows apps at the same time, with OS2 version 2, each can run in its own virtual DOS machine. It's like having lots of little computers all separated from each other.
Now, what good is that?
It's the way OS2 protects the apps from each other that's interesting. Running your 386 or 486 in Virtual Protect mode finally harnesses the power of the hardware design. And the way OS2 has implemented this protection is an important improvement over the Protect mode you get with DOS or Windows. With Protect mode, all the apps share the same memory. If something bad happens and one app crashes and can't yield to another app or to DOS or Windows, you're stuck. You have to reboot and start all over. And you've lost all your work if you haven't saved recently. But with OS2 version 2's use of Virtual Protect mode, if one app crashes, it won't crash the whole system. The rest of your apps are protected, each running in their own virtual DOS machine. Here, let me show you an example. Here on my desktop, you can see that I've got the OS2 32-bit Describe word processor, the OS2 chess game, and this demonstration app called Crash App. You can see that we're multitasking with the chess game playing itself as I access the Crash App. This is a special demonstration app which is designed to crash on purpose. I'll cause it to crash and you can see that the screen locks up. With memory protection like you'd have with Windows, we'd probably be forced to reboot. But with OS2, I just hit a special key combination on the keyboard and OS2 puts the crash app away. As you can see, the chess game is still playing itself. The system is running just fine.
I've had that happen to me before. That's how I learned the importance of saving my work. You know, it's funny how apps always pick the worst times to crash.
It's also funny how people have gotten used to apps that crash and having to reboot their system. But that's all going to be different. With OS2 version 2, you'll forget about those bad old days.
Is the main reason for this the difference between Protect Mode and OS2's Virtual Protect Mode?
Yeah, that's right.
I can see a lot of benefits in OS2 for my business. You know, earlier you mentioned it would help us be more productive. Boy, my employees hate that word. Everyone thinks they're working as hard as they can. How can OS2 help us be more productive without having everyone work harder?
That's just it. The beauty of OS2 is that your people won't be working harder. They'll be working smarter. They'll get more out of their hardware, and they won't have all those reliability problems that can slow you down. And here are a number of other productivity features. For example, improve performance of your DOS and Windows apps when they run under OS2, and access to more memory. The sharing of information between different apps from different operating systems, like you saw earlier. And if you ever get the urge to develop your own applications, OS2 version 2 has an improved development environment. There's also dynamic data exchange and...
Whoa. What's that? Dynamic data exchange?
Well, it's similar to cutting and pasting between two applications, but you establish a continuous link instead. Here, let me show you. I've got two applications loaded, Lotus 123G and Describe. I'll access Lotus 123 and select Graph from the action bar and then View. And a graph of the spreadsheet is displayed. Now, I'll select Edit from the action bar, and from the pop-up menu which follows, I'll choose Copy. So now I have a copy of the graph in the OS2 clipboard. Now I'll find a place in the Describe document to paste the chart which is in the OS2 clipboard. I'll select Edit from the Describe action bar, and from the pop-up menu, I'll select Link. I then select Paste Link in the pop-up menu, and the graph appears in the Describe document. What I've actually done is create a hot link between these two applications. Now if I want to change something on the spreadsheet which affects the graph here, the graph in the word processor automatically changes too. That's dynamic data exchange in a nutshell. By linking data between several different apps, you can see how this feature could improve productivity.
How about working with a network? You know, we want to install a LAN. Can OS2 handle that?
Sure, that's no problem at all. OS2 LAN server is one of the members of the OS2 family. It's a very easy way to network your PCs. With the LAN Aware Shell, LAN resources such as programs and files are represented by icons on your OS2 desktop. And you work with those icons just like you work with the files and programs that reside on your own system.
That sounds very interesting.
Another thing you may be interested in is OS2's high-performance file system. This lets you conveniently save your data using larger file names, and you can access larger amounts of mass storage more efficiently than you can with the FAT file system used by DOS and Windows.
Now, how much storage capacity are we talking about?
It's almost limitless. I mean, today with OS2 version 2, you can access multiple gigabyte drives. That's thousands of megabytes. And OS2 will be there for you when the storage technology improves beyond that.
Well, I'll tell you what, this is all very, very interesting, and I believe it's just what our business needs. We need to upgrade our current 286 equipment to 486 PCs. And we need that LAN I've been talking about, and we need OS2 version 2.